So back to steam engine. You know, it's a good idea to get familiar with not just Ohm's law is more than just what's the resistance here, what's my ohms on my build. That's the first thing you look at, okay? Then you look at your battery. And you ignore the high claims of every, I could put whatever I want on the battery. I can make up a label that says it's 5,000 milliamp hours. Are you sitting there with a stopwatch counting the time you're actually vaping? No, but the point is, when you get to where you're doing advanced builds and you're feeling your mech mod is getting very hot, and if you care to open it up, and after you've taken a few hits, you don't do long hits because you'll get a dry hit. But the real reason to not do a long hit is to not stress the battery out too much. So fortunately there's some protection there that you weren't even aware of. You were staying within your comfortable range of vaping, but it was also keeping your battery a little bit. Your battery was like, thank God that guy ran out of juice, otherwise he would have blown my top. You feel the battery, it's got a little bit of heat produced. That's not from the atomizer. That's from internally the battery discharging energy. It heats up. So listen, it's a good idea for you to check that, open that tube up and see what's going on with your battery and get a feel for that as well. Steam engine, great app. Get on there, play around with it. The more you play, I didn't understand what all this stuff was about the first time I got on there, but I kept at it, kept fiddling around, playing with stuff. You can change these things. I just changed, I put the EFES 26650 battery in here, which is, oddly enough, only rated for 32 amps, and the 18650 was rated for 35 amps. So how does the bigger battery, well, they're not claiming as much, and anyway, longer battery life. But it puts out 9.14 volts, which is interesting, which is more continuous. That's its rating. Oh, it can do that. So that's what I mean. Any battery only has 4.2 volts in it. But effectively, I guess when the metal heats up and the resistance goes down, the voltage increases, the amperage flow increases. It's the only way I understand it. This one can do 123 puffs in an estimated runtime of 10 minutes. So fiddle around and learn the qualities and characteristics. This isn't the gospel either, but that's going to kind of tell you what your safe ranges are and what your battery's doing while you're vaping. It's good to know. Look, don't think only nerds get interested in this stuff, okay? If you're putting this thing to your mouth, to your face, to your lungs, learn a little bit more. So when I reach my limit on this and I want a more aggressive build, and I want to take longer hits, because maybe I'm showing off, or maybe I'm in a cloud competition, or whatever, or I just need that long-ass draw like I used to get from a Marlboro Red. Okay, fine. Now you go to bigger battery, or you go to 2 batteries. This is the same concept as 2 workhorses is better than 1. And this does put out a shitload of power. Juice this thing up. You can't put a 0.18 build on unregulated dual series box. Well, you can, but you're going to get fireball hits. I've experienced that. Notice the amount of metal I have on here. There's a lot of wraps. That's 15 wraps, dual coil, 26 gauge. My resistance on this build, I believe, is 0.8. Not 0.08, 0.8. That's the biggest cloud yet. Now what is it doing? I've got dual 18650s. Do you see the volts? 7.8, 7. About 7.5 on a fresh charged set of batteries. So if one 18650 puts out 4.2 volts at maximum, 2 of them should put out 8.4, but this is putting out 7.5 volts. What does that mean? There's some resistance in here. There's some voltage drop. Insulators, wires it has to pass through, a MOSFET. That's fine, but 7.5 volts, 7 volts, that's, what's the wattage? I got no idea. So what could I do? First, let me take a look at something. .87 ohms. Unregulated mech atomizer resistance 0.87. Batteries. I don't think it gives me the, this doesn't give me a dual series. Should I call it regulated? It's not regulated. I gotta go unregulated. Okay, I just discovered there's a limit. There's a limitation here. Steam engine won't calculate for an unregulated box mod in series, unfortunately. But that will be good to know. So I just kind of have to wing it and figure out. But I know one thing. Below 0.5 ohms, this thing is just uncomfortable to vape on. But over 0.5, and with enough metal and enough wraps, and they're big looping wraps, it's actually a very cool vape. For that long of a hit, for that much power coming out of the batteries, it's a very cool vape. Has my resistance changed at all? I don't know. 0.85. Now, I hope you just saw something. The resistance went down. And that's with however long delay it took me to get this thing off of here after 3 hits. But you start out as you're vaping, continuous draw, the resistance is going down, the voltage is going up, the amperage into that build is increasing faster, and it's not just 1-for-1 linear, it's exponential. So that 6th second, that 7th second, this thing's getting hotter and hotter and draining faster and faster. So I'm just letting you know. That's a way. Now maybe you're fine in the beginning and you get used to that and you develop a safe habit, what you think is safe, but you're also, what's happening is you're getting more confident and your batteries are getting less confident. So sooner or later that's a bad combination.